I called my mother to ask about her well-being, but she complained about loneliness and asked me to come visit her. After my father's death, my mother lived alone, and as the youngest child in the family, still unmarried, I am currently working as a lecturer at one of the universities. I promised my mother to visit her this afternoon after teaching. Later that day, I went to the market and bought a gift and a bouquet of flowers for my mother. However, by the time I got ready, it was already night. Feeling unwilling to drive on the highway due to my mood, I decided to take the middle road through the desert. The desert road had much less traffic. As I left the city and entered the desert road, it was very deserted. I had turned up the volume of the car stereo and was listening to music to keep myself awake, as the journey was long. Perhaps every 10 minutes, only one car passed through the road, and this made me feel the fear of loneliness overcoming me. Occasionally, animals living in the desert swiftly crossed the road, making the desert night both dreamy and somewhat eerie. I kept my gaze focused ahead as far as the car's lights could reach. Suddenly, a few hundred meters ahead, I saw someone wearing white clothes waving a piece of fabric, indicating to stop and signaling danger. I thought maybe a bridge had collapsed or an accident had occurred. I thought it might be a highway patrol. I slowed down the car, turned on the hazard lights, and veered towards the right shoulder of the road. Slowly and fearfully, I approached the person. I turned on the overhead lamp of the car, and as I was about to open the glove compartment to get my car documents and license, the window on the right side of my car was suddenly tapped by the finger of that person. A strange fear overcame me. I raised my head and involuntarily lowered the window slightly. My God, it was a young woman with a bloody face, constantly saying, "My child is stuck in the car. I can't save my child. Please help me." I said, "Okay, I will definitely help." The woman said, "Then follow me." She immediately ran, and I followed her until we reached the scene of the accident. The woman said her child was stuck in the back of the car. She stood a little further away, and I went to the car and pulled the child out. I took the boy in my arms, but he was very scared and kept saying, "My mother, my mother." I said, "Don't worry, I will take you to your mother now." But no matter how much I looked around, I couldn't see his mother. Fear overcame me again. I wanted to take the boy to my car, but he wouldn't take his eyes off his mother's car for a moment. I asked the boy, "Where is your mother?" Crying, he replied, "My mother is in the car. She is dead. She doesn't respond no matter how much I call her." Immediately, along with the boy, I went towards the left side of their car. The car was emitting smoke and was close to catching fire. Unbelievably, the same woman who was by the side of the road was now trapped inside the car, covered in blood and not moving. My God, it was the spirit of that woman who had come to the side of the road to save her child. Thank God the boy was next to me, otherwise I would have died of fear. I called the highway rescue team. They arrived at the scene after 15 minutes and with great effort removed the lifeless body of the child's mother from the car. The doctor said this woman had passed away 2 hours ago. I handed the child over to the rescue team. They thanked me for saving the child. Since I was not in a good mental state, I asked them if I could go to the roadside rescue base with them and stay there until morning, and they agreed. The next morning, I bid farewell to the boy and the rescue team and set off towards my mother's house. While I was happy about saving the child, I was saddened by the death of his mother. I will never forget the spirit of that woman. I admire her.